Hey everybody, I'm Djemini.
I'm Salvatore.
And this is the Soul Synced Podcast, Episode 2. This episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Liquid Death. Absolutely murder your thirst.
He'll kill him softly.
You heard it here first. This is definitely not a sponsor, but we're just drinking a couple of Liquid Death convicted melons today.
We're dreaming.
Hanging out and thinking big. You know, we're excited. Our project is just about a week away.
It's on the cusp of being released, yeah.
Yeah, so
exciting.
we're really stoked. And a week ago, we were on the radio, which is really cool. Shout out to everybody at PRP for hoping that to come to life. We had a blast having conversation and being able to play two of the songs from the EP, acoustic live. We did Moonlight and I Do. And so last episode, we talked a bit about Moonlight and just how that song all came to be. And so today we're going to talk about the other three records on the project: Angel, Real Thing, and I Do. So, Sal, do you want to kick this off and just start talking about how we went about making Angel and kind of how that evolved over time?
Let's do it, yeah. Angel was our first song that we wrote together, and we didn't really have any huge plans of it. Like, we're going to write a song, and this is going to be the first song. So it was like just us hanging out and having fun. And I came over to your house and just brought my guitar, and yeah, we were kicking it for a little bit, working on some stuff, and then I think we just started jamming on this chord progression, and you immediately went to something, and I was like, whoa, keep going.
Keep cooking.
Yeah,
let him cook.
Let the man cook.
Yeah, man, it was so cool. Like that, I just had that idea for that first line of the "I thought I saw an angel."
Yeah.
And then I think it was actually in real time you responded with that "Was he walking flawlessly" line. And I know that you didn't want to keep that initially.
Yeah.
But then we kind of liked it, and it just felt right in the context of the song. So, from there we really wrote all the lyrics that first night.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Properly,
it was like conversational, that one. So
yeah, we thought
it was easy.
We came up with that idea of like trading back and forth lines and then being able to sing the hook together, and the kind of starting this hypothetical relationship of you see this girl, you're interested, I'm telling you about her, and you helping me muster up the courage to go talk to her, get her number, take her out, let her know that, you know, it could be a man.
It's a tale as old as time.
Indeed. Yeah, so man, that was just a blast, and that was just very stripped back. Obviously, just us with the guitars. We didn't start doing any production on it until, I don't know if it was a week or two later that we came over here, and then we started laying the bones for the production. And that was also still pretty bare bones. And we had this. You remember that drum loop that we had? Yeah. It was way different than what it is now.
It's kind of intense, honestly.
It was that was the perfect word to describe it. It was a little too intense. And we had that. Like, the song sounded good, but the drum loop was like
it was super busy.
It was crazy. It was a lot happening. Don't mind my beatboxing. I'll put up a clip here of when I was beatboxing on mine. That's how we got the drums for that song on Just a Pawn. Anyway, though, once we figured out a better drum loop situation, we also did a lot more manual stuff drum wise with those reverse cymbals, and other cool elements of the production. And I think what was most fun with this was that it was relatively simple as the song, and so we felt like we wanted to really ramp it up in terms of the production side. And so I mean, let's talk a little bit about like what creating more in-depth production looked like for the song, and kind of how you felt about it as it evolved.
I think out of all of the tunes, this one was, I'd say, it's like the most challenging to get where it sounds where it is now.
Yeah, I agree.
It took like it could have gone so many different ways and it would have been fine, but just, I don't know. It took a while to get there. Yeah. I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, there was definitely like a lot of different iterations and a lot of subtle things that even up until that the kind of that final mixing session that we had for the full project, we were still going back, even though this was the first one we did.
Yeah,
we were still going back to this record and adding some things to just tighten it up. You know, the atmospheric things that you're hearing. I mean, down to the bird noises that you're hearing, the ocean sounds that are buried in there, the other atmospheric risers and spacey sounds, and all those things that are in this track. We wanted it to start the record off very experiential, is how I would describe it. Of not just how it was written with the two guitars and that, but to really make it like
a story,
and you're there. Yeah, you're stepping into this world more so, and this world of what this story is. And I think that's a cool thing that maybe we touched on in episode 1, but all 4 of the songs are essentially this very loose narrative or spread out narrative of meeting a girl, telling your friend, that progressing to feeling like you've got, you know, an exciting thing that you could be together in Moonlight.
Yep.
And then Real Thing being the third track of like, okay, we're together now. We've got that, you know, we got that real thing.
Real thing.
and
I do.
And then I do to finish things off.
What more can you say?
What more can you say than I do, man? Those 3 letters, man. It changes lives, you know?
Sure does.
I wouldn't know, but this man would.
I would. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
It is. Sure, yeah. It is. And yeah, I think that was what was fun that we definitely didn't talk about in episode 1, but this was so unique for me because while these were hypothetical scenarios, I was able to feed off of the energy that Sal and his wife have of just how beautiful their marriage is and their family, and that I get to come here and hang out with them.
Oh, thank you.
And you know, see a little bit of that for myself and kind of glimpse into what a lot of what I hope for in my, you know, family life and future things like that. And so I was, you know, to make such a dramatic pivot from Just a Pawn to, you know, all these heartbreak, very bluesy ballads to these upbeat, soulful love songs.
Yeah.
You know, you could be like, wow, how did that happen so quick? And I fully credit that to
Who's
Sal
the girl?
and his family.
Who's the girl? Tell us.
I wish, man. I wish. But hey, then these songs are applicable to whenever that does happen.
That's true.
And so, yeah, but that energy, man, it was palpable. It is. And I'm just excited to get to experience that, and for us to now have records that are kind of a fusion of things you've experienced in your life and your relationship, and things that I, you know, hope to experience, and things that I want to happen. I think it's a really fun fusion of it. All of it's hypothetical still, even in like stuff that we wrote about, but it comes from this place of like a lot of love and joy for you know, for what relationships be. And that's what we wanted, especially with a song like I Do. We wanted that to be something that would be a memorable moment for people, whether it was on their wedding day or leading up to, you know, and getting excited to say I do, or after the fact, or something to commemorate that. We felt like that could be a special song to do exactly that. So yeah, let's button up Angel. I think the main other things that we had on that were just the small details that we were talking about, and then I think we added some guitar stuff that made it cool. Even at the very end, we added in
you had the idea of the little outro ending.
Right.
Yeah, just needed a little extra little something to just try it out.
I think that brought it into Moonlight in a way that it built up properly to how punchy Moonlight starts off with. Had the guitar not been at the end of Angel, I think it would have been a little too stark of a contrast. Right. So yeah, I love Angel. It's such a fun back and forth. It's a fun story. Yeah. And that leads into that very, you know, tongue-in-cheek Moonlight storyline as well. And then we start to settle in a bit into Real Thing, and like this is like a real relationship now. We've got something special. Let's go into how that started and how that was very unexpected.
Yeah.
You know?
Weren't we supposed to work on Angel we were working on Angel, and we're like, yeah, let's pull up some drum samples and stuff to like replace the crazy one that we were just talking about. We stumbled upon one that was just like, and you were like, hold on.
Yeah, I think we seriously, I was like, dude, open a new session because this is, we got to jam on if regardless if we write to this or not, we got to jam on this. And I mean, I think I have the video of it when we first started jamming, and it's just 15 minutes of us I'm just playing the guitar, Sal's playing keys, and we were just jamming. I mean, kind of like, in a trance.
Right, yeah.
Like, we weren't even speaking. Yeah. Like, it was just pure music, just jamming. And for any musicians who play with, good friends who you feel like you really have that kind of musical Bluetooth paired connection with, soul synced, if I may.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what it's like to just get in one of those trances and you don't even need to speak because you're speaking through what you're playing. And that is very special. And so I think that's exactly what happened with the instrumental for the song.
Yeah.
I think we played it through, like, there's not even a loop, I don't think.
No.
In the song. It's
we kept most of that in the final song. Which
the actual jam was what it turned into. And so shout out to us for being on time.
Exactly. Yeah. We killed it.
Yeah, straight up. I loved how that.
And there's some imperfections in there too, which is what makes the song like super great.
I agree. Fun. In the era of being able to make something super perfect, it's kind of fun how there are the differences in chords, the small little variations of things that may not be perfect.
Yeah.
But that I think that's what actually makes the song perfect.
Yeah.
Is that it does have more of the just live feel.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I wanted to redo the piano part. I was like, this is shit. You can bleep that out. I'm kidding. And after I did, I think we both looked at each other like, that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Just took away from the live feel.
Yeah.
Like the magic of it. So
yeah, no, and we went back to the original recording, and we were just like, there's something about that instrumental that feels so good. The one thing we did change though was the bridge. The bridge we got creative with after the fact. We wrote most of the song right after we were jamming. So we jammed, and then we took some time once we had that all set up, and we just let the instrumental play, and we were just sitting there, both of us on our phone, just writing lyrics on this shared note. And I mean, we wrote that fast, dude. It was probably like 30 minutes of us just like going to town with lyrics and just cranking this out. And then we got stuck on the bridge, and I think again, it's in looking back at footage where you and I are both just sitting on our phones like this, like
just not talking to each other.
Just really thinking so hard. And I think we were just thinking a little too hard, because then we revisited, I think, another session. We came back, and then we wrote the bridge, and then I think we were able to write it because of what we changed instrumentally. We went and we took and made it halftime, and so if you listen to it, we halftime the drums and the guitar. And then we added these very spacious keys that were reminiscent of what we added on a lot of Just Upon. So all 4 of the main records on my debut project, we added these different spacey keys. We added these different atmospheric sounds just to give it more life and make you feel like you're stepping into a world a bit more. And that made the bridge come to life.
Yeah, it was a nice contrast from everything else, because like right from the beginning, it just like hits you in the face.
Yeah, we waste no time with Real Thing at all.
It's like upbeat and groovy, and it's like you take it to this bridge and you like knock it down, and it's like, ooh, you have some more to say here. So and now, man, dude, I didn't even remember this before, but as we were writing that bridge, we said to each other, what if this is like a bit of a love letter? Like specifically, you remember that? Yeah, we're like, after everything we've been through, something like that. Like, I know it gets rough, so I'll call out to you. Like
something.
Like a love letter kind of.
Yeah. The bridge is very much like a slowed down love letter. Real short, just like this is us telling the story of that, of like more from like we're telling other people the story. And then the bridge is like us telling her the story. And like us writing to her directly. I think this is exactly what we would be saying to this woman hypothetically, right? I think that was really, that made it so concrete that it took our overthinking and just squashed it, because now we're like, oh, okay, we're this imaginary guy singing to this, or writing to this imaginary girl.
Yep.
And what would he say? And then when you're feeling lonely, call my phone. You know, I'll drop my things and come back home. We were just being like real on a lover boy type of time, you know.
As you do.
and then the bridge came really quick, and over that halftime part of the instrumental, it was so cool. And every time that it happens, people are listening, and all of a sudden you're hit with that spacious flow of that. And I think it's surprising for a lot of people, because it is pretty abrupt in the middle of a song that's really heavy hitting.
And I love how it gets out of the bridge too.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't just like go right back into the normal swing of things. It sort of eases in.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It like eases in like a smooth, nice way, which is super
That's
dope.
right. We do a little 4 count of the going back to the regular chords right before the hook comes back in. Yeah. So I think that song may be the most dynamic of the 4.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, just because of how interesting that bridge is. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of different cool dynamics of Moonlight, of course, but relatively, you know, steady through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think that this one, it is pretty different with that bridge and how we go through different sections.
Yeah.
And instrumentally, but also vocally, how this changes. And I don't know, any other...
You had a lot of last minute, like, really cool ideas for like textures.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
What was the inspiration behind that?
Man, I was on the plane and we had near final mixes. My family and I were going back to Guam for our family reunion, and I'm just really diving into the nitty gritty of these songs. And while I'm 30,000 feet up in the air, I'm listening to this song in particular over and over, and I'm just like, I know that there can be more here, and I don't know what that is. And then after a few times through, all of a sudden, boom, it just hit me, and I was just feverishly writing down all these bullet points, and it was all those textures that you hear of the, you know, the crowd vocal, the hey, like my brothers got me, they'd be right in the clutch, catch a flight to Warsaw, this is your captain speaking. All of those things. The kiss you in the mirror when I do your makeup, the little kiss, you know, noise there. It is a fun story. And I think that those elements help to, I've said this a bunch of times already today, but add more life into the song and allow people to experience what we're sharing, this story, what we're essentially writing in this love letter to in a fuller way. Yeah.
Immersive.
So, that was the goal with it, was to create more of an immersive feel and have something that that you really can imagine exactly where we're coming from as you're writing it, / if that's where you are, that the sound design and everything makes it a little bit more real. So yeah, man, that real thing, I love that track.
It's so much fun.
And that one is a little bit more predominant with my vocals, but I think that that's what's really cool, is that you have all these beautiful harmonies throughout that song. And then, you know, we're very much 50-50 with Moonlight and Angel. Yeah. This is a little bit more Djemini leaning with the vocals, with a lot of beautiful instrumental things and harmonies from Sal. And then it's a wonderful give and take leading into I Do, where the verses are just Sal. And so that contrast was something we felt like would also give the record life, not just the two of us singing every word together on every song, but to give it a different feel, I think would be what we were going for there. And then I think I recorded to I Do at first, like on the verses, and then it just didn't feel right. I was like, dude, I think you need to have the verses just be you, and same with the bridge. So
that's right.
I think let's dive all the way into I Do, because that was a beautiful thing where it was similar to Moonlight, how you sent me an initial acoustic voice note idea.
Gotta love voice notes.
Hey man,
sponsored.
Hard to beat them. Apple, hook your boys up. We're both
Mac Studio could really use that.
We're both
hook your boys up.
Big lovers of your M3 MacBook Pros.
Your products. We are consumers.
We're big Logic fanboys.
We sure
are. And we could go on about your products. iPhones, AirPods, all of them. But before we get carried away, I think that, I Do is something that I felt something really special when you first sent that to me. And that prompted, similar to Moonlight in the way where instantly, boom, rest of the verse and chorus just came right to me. It was the same thing where this one in particular though, you told me like, I've got this verse, but I need you to do a hook.
Yeah.
I think that's almost verbatim what you texted me.
Yeah, probably.
and I was just, I think I just sent you the salute emoji, and then I got right to it, and then sent you a voice memo back, and that Never Gonna Let You Go thing. That's actually what the song was called. Never Gonna Let You Go. You can see it. This is a beautiful acoustic ballad that we're making. Until my friend Sean, shout out to my friend Sean Ulashin. I was playing him the song and I didn't tell him the title, and he got done with the song and he looked at me and he had just heard all 4 of them all together and he was like, I hope that last one's called I Do. And then I texted Sal immediately. I was like, what do you think about calling that last one I Do? Up until that point it was Never Gonna Let You Go, and that's a longer title we've got a lot of Angel, Moonlight, Real Thing, very short titles. And so I Do, 3 letters, real simple, easy peasy. And because we wanted to kind of go that wedding angle, we felt like that would be the most searchable version of this song, is if it was I Do, and allowed people to look it up in that way. Yeah. And so I mean, getting into the meat of the record, like once we had the general idea, once I got back from Seattle once again, I came over and we laid down pretty much everything for that, and kind of just were happy with the taking turns of you doing the verses and me doing the hook. And then that one felt right to have stripped in the production, where the way you did that first demo with very simple, one electric guitar, no crazy effects on it, and then these simple keys that are just kind of atmospheric background, kind of arpeggiated,
and twinkling in the background,
was that extra touch that it needed. But there's no drums, there's no bass, there's really not too much on this record other than guitar, vocals, subtle keys, and then our vocals. And I think our harmonies is what really carried this in the verses, and then in the chorus especially, the really love you. Huge, though I remember when we did that, and I have a lot of these moments on camera. But that moment in particular, I was kind of losing my marbles. I was just like freaking out because of how angelic it sounded, and how it gave that extra feeling as if we were to be singing this like with a choir. And I loved that part, and from there, man, we didn't really do too much to it. I think that was the one we touched the least. So to contrast Angel and Real Thing with how much we dove into this very deep production on all those, on both of those, and we spent a lot more time on them because we had those from March and April. Moonlight again came so quick, and then we put it out so quick. But this one, it felt so good just as is.
Really intimate, and it didn't need much. And like you said, those vocals add so much. And like, what did we get? Oh, we did add strings.
Oh, you're right.
Strings.
You're right.
Like,
you're right.
I think Rain. We were playing it back in the car with Rain.
Yes.
She's like, this needs strings.
Yeah.
She's like, damn, that's right.
Yeah.
It does.
No, that was the same time I think we played Moonlight.
Yep.
And she was like, ooh, yeah, what if there was like strings in here, blah, blah, blah. And in Rain we trust.
In Rain we trust.
I mean, really though, like her ear is just so next level, and as soon as she heard that, we both looked at each other and we were like, oh, okay.
Like this song.
Yep, it does need that. And we thought part of the reason why we left it so simple was like, if we were to ever play this live, if we were to play this at a wedding, we would want it to be just the two of us.
True to the original.
And we can play it either with one guitar or 2 guitars, and it sound pretty much like the recording. And I think even the way that it is now, if we had the 2 of us, a guitar, a keyboard player, and like 1 or 2 string players, this would sound exactly like the recording. And we're very proud of that. So I think that this record, it makes me feel warm and fuzzy, I'm not married. And so
it's for your future wife.
Yeah, man, it is. And I think that that's like what I'm extra proud of in this song, where it does feel a bit of that, you know, dear future partner type of energy. And I'm very grateful that we were able to make something that can be so emotional, be so intimate, like you were saying. And like I mentioned earlier, that, you know, we freshly came off of being on the Portland Radio Project last week. And so we went in to just do the interview and perform Moonlight, and the host asked if we would be down to perform another song. And per that last point, exactly what we were saying about it being the best stripped back, we thought, and my dad thought, shout out to my dad, I played him that, he was like, if you guys are gonna play anything live, this feels like the one to do. And so we kind of just took heed to that, and we gave it a run through before we went live, and felt pretty good about it. And so the way we did it live ended up even better than our run through.
Exactly. So I was kind of nervous, to be honest. I was like, I was like, think we were going to play this, and I did not study this.
But we did it.
Yeah, we did it. It felt really good at the moment, and listening back, I was like, well, yeah.
Listening back felt even better than it sounded, I think, in the moment. We got done, and we're like, cool, you know, we have our radio faces on and whatnot, and I was like, hope that sounded good.
Yeah.
And then we got the recording back, and we listened, and we're like, whoa, this is solid, man. So, that's kind of a breakdown of a lot of the tracks. We talked a lot about Moonlight in episode 1. I mentioned also in that episode that this isn't going to be a recurring thing. We might revisit it as we get to future projects, but at least for this project, this first EP, we wanted to have another episode for you that breaks down more of the story behind these records and the joy that we experienced through making them. Because really, we had a blast.
Yeah,
we had so much fun, and being able to be in such a good groove working together, and then turn that into a project that we absolutely love, and that we're gonna get, you know, a few records pressed with Fortune Ave here, who made the vinyls for Just a Pawn, and so we're excited to have those in hand, and just to share these more, and then lead to wherever Soul Sync 2 or whatever we call the next project is going to be, but to take a little bit of time to dive deeper into this record with you is what we wanted to do with the second episode. And so those are the main things that I wanted to suggest. Is there anything else that you wanted to dive into before we call this one a wrap?
Oh man, don't get me started. I'm kidding. I think we covered all the meats and potatoes for that, but we just hope that you really enjoy the tunes and kind of can follow along to the story that we sort of created for you. And what would you say, like, I think we talked about this a little bit when we first started writing it, was Songs About Jane was kind of the not really like music wise or genre wise, but just like sort of the concept,
right?
No,
that's I'm glad you mentioned that. I actually forgot about that, but we're both very inspired by Maroon 5 and Adam Levine, and just the musicality of who they are as a band, and how versatile Adam is as a vocalist. And that OG project is, you know, got this timeless classics on there. And so there was that element of Songs About Jane feeling like addressed to this woman. And while we didn't give a name to this woman who this record is about, and maybe we will through thinking about it more or whatever, but I think that just kind of leaving it anonymous was cool for us to be able to.
Could be anyone.
It could be anyone, and it could be for anyone, for you and whoever your future partner is, or your current partner, if you're a big fan of I Do or whatever that is. And so that I think that's like a perfect note to end on, is that the soul sync nature of it is just us being very synced and on the same page with a lot of these things, and how fast this record came to life. March 1st writing Angel, and here we are in August, so not even 6 months. And going and having a record ready to go. By the time you're watching this, the record is out. And that's pretty crazy to say. We're so proud of it, and once again, we just hope you really enjoy it, and we hope that you create memorable moments with it. And let us know what you think about the record. Let us know what your favorite song is from the record, or favorite lyric, or whatever that is. Drop that in the comments, or reach out to us, via socials. You can always get to both of us on Soul Synced or on our individual Instagrams, just at Djemini Music, at Salvatore.Manalo.
Yeah.
And we're excited to continue to obviously make more records together, but there's going to be a lot of stuff that we do between when this record comes out and when we get to whatever the second volume is, that we're going to be putting out over the next year, that we're very much looking forward to sharing with you. And so this was a beautiful project to be able to, as we get into the height of summer and the end of summer, to be able to have out and commemorate this really amazing year that we've had together, working together. And so, that's kind of my final thoughts. Is just, we hope you love it. Let us know what you think about the record, and we're looking forward to sharing more music with you, sharing more Soul Sync stuff with you down the road. And again, thanks so much for just rocking with us and enjoying the music.
Yeah, I couldn't send it better.
Sweet. All right. Hey,
murder your thirst.
Murder your thirst. Shout out to Liquid Death. We need a proper cheers for that. Boom.
Oh man.
Anyway,
no, try to murder me.
The thirst was murdering Sal.
Exactly.
Anyway, I've been Djemini.
I'm Salvatore.
And we are Soul Synced. Thanks so much, and
thank you.
Talk to you guys soon.
See you later.
Take care.